Thank you for visiting Past the Wire TV, the YouTube channel of PastTheWire.com.
Exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING. Get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator exclusively on DRF Bets.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very interesting episode of Past the Wire TV. We've got an excellent trainer on the show that's got some horses running at Royal Ascot this week. It's Royal Ascot week. We all know that. Dave, I'm going to let you say your last name correctly because I don't want to mess it up.
Dave Lochnan.
Dave Lochnan. And some of you here, most of our audiences in the U.S. might know Dave because he's already made a little noise on the big stage here in the U.S. with a horse named Go Bears Go, who was doing some nice running at the end of a Breeders' Cup race won by Wesley Ward, Twilight Gleaming at Del Mar. Dave, before we get to Royal Ascot and you, how exciting was that? Coming down the lane in the Breeders' Cup and almost getting that first win.
Yeah, look, going to the Breeders' Cup in Del Mar last year was it was a dream come true for myself and my wife and all the team and the owners. It was a great experience. We loved it over there. Horse did us very proud. He just missed the break, split second, and it was probably the losing of the race. Another two strides, he had his head in front. So, look, a great first experience. We learned a lot, and know that we'll be back again year in, year out, hopefully.
When you come that close to such a big win in the first shot at it, does it make you get those competitive juice, right? Exactly. Hungrier. You're just like, now you tasted it. Now you got to get it.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we went over there to compete with some of the best in the world, and we proved that we were good enough to compete with some of the best in the world. So yeah, definitely we'll be targeting races like the Breeders' Cup every year from now on.
And you're about to compete with the best in the world again. Royal Ascot is probably there were quite a few great race meets, but I mean, as far as prestige, Royal Ascot is right at the top of the list and is just about on everybody's radar. What's it like going into Royal Ascot with, what have you got, 3 or 4 horses going? I know you've got 3, right?
9.
You've got 9?
Yeah, 9. So we've we're 6 years since we started training, 7th season training next year. We had one runner that was there for a day out the first year. Then we had, last year, we were third 2 years ago in a Queen Mary with 150 to 1 shot. We went last year with 4 runners. We had a first and second, and we had a first and 2 seconds. So to be going there with 1 horse with a chance is amazing. But yeah, to be going there with 9 horses and they're all in with a chance. So look, it's, as you say, it's the mecca of our sport. It's where we all want to compete. And look, it's exciting, very exciting.
Now I know Queen Ali, I know Omni Queen, and I know Wildbank are all scheduled to run. I didn't know about the others. I apologize. Is Go Bears Go running?
Yeah, Go Bears Go goes for the Commonwealth Cup.
Okay.
Sprint. He's about 8 or 9 to 1 shot. So yeah, we'd be very hopeful he can finally get his Group 1 beside his name that he deserves. He's been very unlucky not to be a Grade 1 winning horse by now, but so Go Bears will go on Friday. We've got 2 horses on the Wednesday in the Queen Mary, Omni Queen, who you mentioned, and another filly called Carmela. She's a 3-time raced filly by Tasleigh. She's won twice. We have Fionn running in the Kensington Palace Stakes. She was second in the Kensington Palace last year to another one of our fillies, Lola Showgirl. And then we've got a horse called Bito running in the Windsor Castle. So we've got 4 running on the Wednesday.
Right.
Thursday we run King Max in the Hampton Court. He was 5th in the Dante behind Desert Crown, who is just after winning the British Derby, and 4th in the Craven Breeze up Guineas trial, or the Craven trial before that. So he'll go Thursday with Wallbank as well. Wallbank will go for the Norfolk. He was an emphatic winner last time out. He's a very, very fast horse. And on Friday, we run Queen Ollie and Double Up the Albany. Go Bears go in the Commonwealth Cup. And we run Fearless Angel in the 5 furlong 3-road sprint, the Holy Roadhouse.
Wow. So you've got a really busy week coming up. I really thank you for, making some time for us. I didn't even, I thought, wow, we're running 3 or 4, making some time was awfully gracious of you. Now I really owe you one. So that's really nice. I follow UK racing as best I can in the States, and it's not as easy as people would think. The information is very limited. A lot of the TV services and channels are restricted, but I do use a lot of resources to get as much information as I can, and I like to spot horses that I think have a lot of potential. I kind of keep a little ledger on my computer of notes on different horses. And the interesting thing is Omni Queen is one of the horses that made its way to my list, because I saw one. I think she's only 1 for 1, correct?
1 for
Right.
1, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that race, and I'll tell you what my notes were, and then you can tell me if I'm off base or not, or if they're kind of similar to yours. But I wrote, looks like an extremely talented filly, one on the lead, not the easiest thing to do over there. When I'm talking over there, I say over there, and looked like she's just learning the game and tons of potential.
Yeah, dead right. She was very impressive first time out. To be honest, I went to Ascot that day thinking she might need her first run to really sharpen her up, and put a lot of natural ability that day. So she's definitely taken a big step forward mentally and physically. So we certainly hope with her going into Queen Mary.
How impressive is it for a trainer when you bring a horse over to run that you think is going to need a race? I mean, they've got some talent and you like the horse, but you think they're probably going to need one, or they're one away from running, and then they go out and run big and win. Is that like a tell or a signal to you as a horseman that, hey, this one might really be a little special?
Yeah, definitely. Look, for a horse to overcome their first day at school and overcome greenness shows a lot of talent and a lot of natural ability. A good horse will always overcome its negatives going into any race, whether that's a first time out runner, the wrong ground. A good horse will always turn up as a good horse. And a massive bonus to us when they do that.
Right. Now, one of the things I love about the methodology of training and the way you guys do things over there is, you train at yards away from the racetrack most of the time, if not all of the time. I believe you live at the yard where you train. You and your wife live there, correct?
Yeah, we live. Our bedroom window looks straight into the yard, into the horses.
Right. I mean, I'm not a horseman. I'm not a trainer or anything like that. I'm just, a student of the game, and it's no secret that I love to bet on them. But I would imagine that that's got to be a tremendous advantage. I mean, even the trainers here that go to the barn early in the morning, but they live home and then they go back in the afternoon for the races or go back to feed. It's a life dedicating thing. But if you're actually living on the farm, at the yard, I mean, you can't be more consumed and involved and dedicated than that. It's got to be a huge advantage, no?
Yeah, we like to think so. We like to say we know every hair on our horses' bodies. We know them inside out. We know their quirks. We see them day in, day out. We can finish morning stables and we just need to look out the window, and we turn all of our horses out to the paddock all day after they've been ridden until the afternoon, so we can look out and see that they're grazing on grass, or they're having a buck and a play, that they're happy and they're enjoying themselves. And yeah, look, it's the more you see your horse, the more you know about your horse.
Now, I'm going to ask you a tough question that a lot of people here in the US are probably not going to like if you answer it the way that I think you're going to answer it. But I don't pull punches. I've pulled maybe one punch in my entire life, and I learned to regret it. So I don't pull any more punches. You said you turn your horses out. Okay. One of the complaints here is that, race horses go out and train and they go out to run, but after that, they're pretty much confined to their stalls. A lot of times they're small. I looked up your yard, and I know you've got big boxes that you refer to them as, that are open and more attractive to the horses, but you turn them out. Does turning them out and leaving them out on a yard all day make them happier horses, and thus easier to train, easier to work with, and ultimately better competitors?
Yeah, 100%. That's a huge part of how we train. I think what a lot of people forget when it comes to horse racing is that they're animals, they're not machines. And if you're there's nothing better for the horse than grass in its belly and the sun on its back. And if, like me or you, if you're happy in your job and what you do, and you get rewarded for doing your job, you're going to be happier to get out of bed the following morning and go to work. So every morning our horses get fed in the morning. They know they go and do their work on the gallops. They're going out in the field for the day with their mates. They can have a roll, a play, a buck, lie in the sun. It allows them to remember that they're horses and keep their mind right.
Interesting. Like I said, I love to bet on the horses, and nowadays in the US, it's very popular for people to bet on European horses coming over here. It wasn't always that way. 20 years ago, they used to get ignored, but they still used to win their fair share of races. And one of the things I loved, Dave, was that, and I noticed at your yard, you have the ability, they gallop uphill. Okay. And, our horses don't, for the most part. So when they used to ship here, I used to say, these horses train uphill, downhill, that's got to be a tremendous advantage for a European horse coming here and running on a firm, flat turf course when they're used to running on heavier turf courses and going uphill. It's got to feel almost like a springboard to them sometimes, no?
Yeah, you would think so. Like, obviously, a lot of yards here and a lot of trainers in the UK and Ireland would train up hills, and I suppose it's more of an endurance style training. But it's also a case of a lot of our tracks, our race tracks, like America, Australia, your tracks are flat. Over here, a lot of the tracks are undulating. They can be uphill, they can be stiff, they can be downhill. So it certainly plays an advantage into getting a horse to being used to using themselves and learning how to gallop on an uphill surface. Whereas if all of our tracks were flat, we would probably have gallops that were flat. So it kind of, there's two sides of the coin. Yes, and obviously going up a hill will take pressure off some of their joints, whereas when you're on the flat, you're always putting the same pressure on the same points of a joint. So there's benefits to it. There's nothing to say it's the right way or the wrong way. There's plenty of American horses and Australian horses that are trained over there and come over here and still dominate. So, when it goes to winning a race, a good horse is always going to win a good horse, no matter how they're trained. It's easy training a good horse. The art, to me, the art of training is winning races with a lower grade horse or a bad horse. That's when you really improve your
Yes, no, that's interesting, and that's a good perspective to put on it. David, how tough is it to get to the level that you've been able to get at, having 9 runners at Royal Ascot, coming, and running huge in your first Breeders' Cup race, having the kind of yard that you have at this point, and coming in, not really being, handed anything. Not that anybody's handed anything, but there's a lot of, big names in the UK racing that are kind of like generation to generation to generation. Like when I had Joseph O'Brien on the show, he flat out told me that, he was expected from a very early age to be in the position that he's in and was groomed for that his entire life. And there he is. How tough is it when you're not set up for that to get to that?
It's probably a hard question to answer. Like, me and Sarah, my wife, neither of us come from racing backgrounds, and we don't come from masses of money. You know, we've had to work very hard to get where we are, but it's never been hard work. We love what we do, and we do what we love. Like, we're living our dream. It's
Right.
great with life, and it's not really taken that long. Say it's you know, it's industry, and you are competing against the best. You're all, you know, you're on a level playing field from day one, and you have to be able to prove you're good enough. And not taking us long. I can't say why. Maybe we've been very lucky, but at the same time, you have to make your own luck. And you know, we started off 6 years ago with 7 horses in our yard, and they were class 7, class 6 horses, and we won with them. So then we got a better grade of horse, and we won with them, and then we got a better grade of horse, and we had to make ourselves. We had to put our face out there to get ourselves on the ladder, and we had to, you know, compete at a level we weren't. You know, we had to compete at the top level with buying horses from a lower level, prove that we were good enough. And I suppose from there, owners started to take notice. When owners start to take notice, that's when you start to get a better grade of horse. There's no substitute in this industry for winners. Like, if you train winners, you can promote yourself all you want, but if you're not training winners, it's irrelevant. You know,
Right.
and we winners from every level and worked our way up, and it snowballed. I keep waiting to wake up one morning and realize it's all been a dream. It's happened that quickly, but look, we got to keep our foot on the gas now. We said we wanted to compete with the best and remain there. It's about longevity, and yeah, we got to keep our foot on the gas now to make sure we stay at the top level.
Yeah, no, for sure. I often say that it's hard to get to the top and get to that level, but it's just as hard to stay there once you do get there, and maybe even harder to stay there once you get there.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we don't in the pan. We're no one trick pony. You know, we're adamant we can compete with the best, and we want to remain at the top. So, yeah, we just got to keep pushing.
Is it too early in the year? And I don't think so, but again, I'm not the trainer. You are. Is it too early in the year to kind of have any Breeders' Cup races in the back of your mind, or any of your horses saying to you, "Hey, you know what? I might like a trip to Lexington, Kentucky, come November"?
We'd be very keen to go to Lexington come November. Obviously, Go Bears Go is owned by Keith Jarabchin of Ammo Racing, and he spends, you know, quite a lot of, nearly half of the year in America. So America is a big part of his life. So he's very, very keen on getting back there again. And after coming so agonizingly close last year, it's about redemption for us. So look, we have a fabulous team of 2-year-olds. Wallbank is one that would certainly spring to mind if all goes to plan at Royal Ascot, that he could be a horse for the 2-year-old turf sprint there. We've got some nice fillies. Again, Queen Ollie, she's going to be a miler going forward. You know, she's by no name never out of a Galileo mare. So, you know, there's a long list of horses that will hopefully be coming back with you.
Who are some of the riders riding for you at Ascot this week?
So Ross Ryan is riding the majority of our horses. He's retained jockey to Ammo Racing, so he's riding the majority of them. And then we've got Richard Kingscote, who's just after winning the Derby.
Right.
He rides he rides Carmela in the Queen Mary and Fionn in the Kensington Palace. We've got an Irish jockey, Lee Roach, riding one in the Queen Mary for us. And I think that's probably it. They'd be our main 3. But Ross Ryan, Richard Kingscote,
Right.
and Laura Pearson, who had her first ride in Royal Ascot last year and won on one of our horses. So they'd be our main go-to riders.
Yeah, no, that it's always interesting to me that you know, you guys are much more loyal to riders and stick with riders and have riders for, you know, different outfits, different yards, different barns. It's a lot different here. Here it's pretty much, you know, I mean, we have some people that are tied in to certain stables, but there's a lot more musical chairs played with riders in the US than there is in the UK for sure.
Look, it can only the way I look at it, it can only benefit you having someone on your horse who knows your horse. And
Right.
you know, certain riders suit certain trainers. You know, certain, you could have the best jockey in the world, but if he doesn't suit the way your horses run, then it's not always going to work out the same way. So we've, as I say, we've a brilliant relationship with Rossa and Richard and Laura. So it's always a big advantage for people like that to know you can rely on.
And Richard's coming in on a pretty big high right now. and I read he's going to buy a Ducati motorcycle or something. So, you know, he be looking to win another one. I'll let you go with this last thing. Okay. Royal Ascot and Breeders' Cup, probably two of the, you know, premier racing events in the world, flat racing anyway. You know, you're competitive in both at this point in your career. What are the main differences between them? I see a lot of similarities, but what's different between competing at Royal Ascot and competing in the Breeders' Cup? Are there any differences, or can you kind of contrast that a little bit for me?
Far nicer weather in America for the Breeders' Cup. I suppose being I'm Irish, my wife is English. Being from this part of the world, Royal Ascot is it's where everyone wants to be. You know, it's the best of the best. But again, from the American side of things, the Breeders' Cup is the best of the best. And you know, trainers come from Ireland, England, France, Australia, Japan, Hong Kong. So it's in their own rights, they're the same thing. You know, it's hard to put a divide for them. Personal point of view, Royal Ascot is probably a little bit closer to the heart for us and a bit closer to home. But you know, going to the Breeders' Cup last year, I remember growing up watching the Breeders' Cup every November, and you know, always dreaming of being there, and to have been there and experienced it was a very surreal thing. And look, hopefully we can get back there one day and put our name on the winners board.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping so for you as well. I think you deserve it. What about a dirt race like the Derby or something like that? Ever dream about something like that? I mean,
yeah, look, after, you know, I'd been to America years ago when I worked for other trainers. I took a filly to Belmont and spent a bit of time over in Belmont, and she ran on turf, but obviously we trained on the dirt there. And especially after being in Del Mar last year, I suppose for an English trainer, you're always a bit weary of the dirt tracks because we don't have them here, and it's hard to gauge whether a horse will handle them or not. But I have to say, after training, we obviously took Go and Hello You to the Breeders' Cup last year. After training them for the week we were out there, the 2 weeks out there on the dirt track in Del Mar, I would have no qualms about running a horse on that surface. You know, I love the surface. I thought I rode really well and felt a very safe surface. So, you know, with the right horse, it's certainly something we'd be keen to do.
interesting. I would love to see it. Hey, Dave, thank you so much for coming on the show. Super appreciative of that. We wish you the best at Royal Ascot and beyond. I hope to see you at the Breeders' Cup. I'm going to be there. If I do, I'll make sure to track you down and say hello if you're there. And we'll be rooting for you. And if you win, we'll make sure we give you a lot of shout outs, but we'll be rooting for all 9 of your horses. So, you know, get out there and make some noise. And I think we're excited for you. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Appreciate it very much. Thanks very much.
All right, I'll stop the recording and then we'll say a quick goodbye right after.
best of the best and hope for the best.
Vekoma broke well on the outside. And
But you don't expect to get speed like this.
Inside, Vekoma continues to battle on down in the rail. It is Vekoma who's going to win the Met Mile.
Nobody does it better.